This whole Dayton area is a historical monument. You got the Air Force Museum, the Wright brothers and all that. Well, this is a living piece of aviation history. This airplane, that airplane there, actually participated in World War II, in D-Day, all the major battles of World War II. So this is a living, breathing history monument. Relatively short. It's cold. It takes a long time to warm the engines up, but once we get everybody ready, we flew over here, we're only 8 miles away. So we flew over here, got the drop zone checked out, dropped the jumpers, let them clear the runway, and make sure there's no fog, and then we came back and landed. So the whole thing, from start to finish, was 6/10 of an hour. And it's based in Titusville, Florida. It's called the Valiant Air Command, and this is like our flagship. So we put it on tours, on display. We drop paratroopers with it, but typically in Florida or nearby, because it's an expensive airplane to operate. And when you start going 600, 700, 800, 900,000 miles, the cost adds up. So this event we're at this weekend is a sponsored event. So they were able to essentially hire the airplane to come up and fly. That's how we got here. I went to Air Force pilot training. I graduated in 1980, so I flew fighters after that for about 8 years. And then I left active duty, got hired at my airline, but then I still wanted to fly fighters, so I joined the National Guard and flew 2 more fighters in the National Guard on my days off.
initially it's much easier to get the tail flying and bring the tail up when the aircraft's light. Have a lot of passengers in the back. You have to adjust, and it usually takes a little bit longer to get the tail flying, and you could definitely feel it in the weight. A lot of times too, depending on the load of the paratroopers, as you're rolling down the runway, you might have to trim the aircraft as the aircraft's accelerating, and as the more the aircraft accelerates, the more you can feel the control forces in the yoke and the controls. But oftentimes we are making those adjustments as the tail starts flying, as we start rolling down the runway. It's actually a little bit easier to land when you have a full load of people and full load of fuel. It stabilizes everything. Fun fact about the airplane, the FAA is limiting us to a max gross takeoff weight of 25,200 pounds. This aircraft empty is 17,200 pounds, so it can almost carry its own weight, which is extremely impressive. But what's more impressive is during the war, we still have performance charts up to 36, 37, 38,000 pounds. But in today's modern world, the aircraft is limited to 25,200 pounds, and that's an FAA type limit. But the aircraft's capable of a lot more. Started volunteering, just watching this airplane when I was 15, and long story short, as I earned more flight ratings and got a little bit more experience, they started throwing me in the front seat. And so I'm right now one of the youngest type-rated DC-3 captains, but what's even cooler is I took the aircraft from Connecticut to Ohio yesterday with my buddy Ian, who also is another vintage aircraft buff, but Ian and I are both 23, so we're probably the youngest DC-3 crew in quite some time, and we were just by ourselves coming over here. But what's crazier to think about, though, during the war, these guys flying the airplane were 18, 19 years old, so Ian and I would have been old.